Hello everybody, welcome along to the stream. I hope you're doing well. It is Monday, but it is still the weekend. How does that work? It's amazing. It's bank holiday weekend, which means we're doing an extra stream today. So we thought we'd take a quick look at some old school super touring action. So we're in Race 07, which I know is not the most current of racing simulation titles out there. However, one I spent a lot of time with back in the day when it was released and absolutely loved, and it was absolutely fantastic. Flicking through the race department download archives, as I do quite frequently, came across this mod by Andreas SFC, which includes various seasons of the British Touring Car Championship within Race 07, and covers obviously the really amazing years between the 91, 92 era all the way through to 2000, and obviously we know those as being super touring cars. So wanted to have a quick look at this, see what it was like, and see if we can get some major TOCA 2 vibes going on. So super excited for this, actually. Looking forward to trying out these cars and just seeing what they're like to drive. And they've been scratch made. They're not copies of anything else. They've been handmade specifically for this mod by Andreas and the team of people he's been working with. So let's jump into the sim as we jump in here now, and we have this oh so familiar menu system going on here. So let's just get myself into the stream here. There we go. Right. So here we are in the main menu of Race 07. So what we're going to do first, before we jump out on track, we've downloaded a couple of extra British circuits, just for the sake of it. So I'm just going to go have a quick look at the cars which are available within the mod. Now, in order to get this to work properly, you do have to have installed the STCC add-on packs for Race 07, because some of the sounds are used from those particular packs. So that's one of the key things you need to do when you download this mod, which is available from Race Department. We put the link in the description as well. So if you fancy a go with it yourself, go and check it out. It'd be really cool to have a go with. So I'm going to go into practice here. We'll just got various tracks to play with, but we're going to actually probably start off at let's go Donington Park National, just to kind of get us up and running here. So first thing you'll see here, there's various tiles with different headings on them, and some of them are simply just the years of that particular of those particular cars. So we'll go through them in order, and we'll have a look at the cars available, and then what we'll do is we'll jump into them and do a couple of races with them as well, just to see how they drive. So first one up here is this one, which I'm going to go back here. Actually, it says Pre-1, so not quite sure what the naming structure on that is there, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different manufacturers, and BMW here has obviously got 2 car models within it. So we're going to have a quick look and see what we've got. So here we are, the 92 series of British touring cars. We have the Listerine Vickley Motorsport BMW E36s. So we've got Steve Soper, Ray Belm, and Tim Harvey, the champion from 92. We've also got the M Sport team, or the M Power team, which is actually Pro Drive run cars. So we've got Tim Slogden and Alan Menu. Very cool livery. I always quite like that livery. It was really nice. So that was the new car for 2002. Sorry, 1992. Way too ahead of myself there. 92. This is the new car for BMW at the time, replacing the old E30, which we all know and love. So we have this colourful offering here with Lawrence Bristow's name on the side, and then a couple of other old E30 M3s joining the company as well. So that's the BMW offering for this particular year. And then we've got the Toyotas as well. So in 92, the Toyota Carina was the car of choice for Andy Rouse's team. So we've got Andy Rouse, Will Hoy, of course, and Julian Bailey, who was had a go on there as well. So yeah, super cool. Looking forward to trying these ones out as well. The Vauxhall as well. Hey Azaris, wow, new AMS2 content looking so... Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's looking sharp. We will do something on the new AMS2 content, I promise, because that just dropped as we'd planned to do this already. That dropped this evening, so we will do something on that, I promise. But we're doing something a bit retro tonight, just for fun, because it's bank holiday weekend. We're going to have a relax and we're going to have some fun. So here's the Vauxhall Cavalier, Vauxhall Sport with the dynamic duo of John Cleland and Jeff Allen, and then the Acuria Cos team, which was a very plucky privateer team, I suppose you could call them. Bobby Vernon Rowe and David Leslie on board with those two. What else? We've got Nissan. So we have the Primera. This is a P10 Primera. This is a livery of Keith O'Dore and Andy Middlehurst driving those two cars. That's very cool. And then finally for this pack we've got Peugeot, which is the 405 driven by Rob Gravitz. The MI16, very good engine in Peugeot spec, and in typical Peugeot Sport colours as well, so very, very nice indeed. What I will say, I mentioned at the start, all these cars have been hand-built for this mod. They're not ports from any other title, they're not taken from... I mean, obviously these ones don't appear in anything else other than when they've been modded into things, so they've not been ripped off from anywhere else. They are genuinely made for this mod. So you've got to remember also that running the old G-Motor 2 engine as Racer 7 is, we're not going to get the most incredible graphics here, and you're going to see that very obviously when we go on track, because the tracks are just not quite... You look at them and you think, wow, did we really used to think that was good? You know, they still look okay for today, but they're definitely nowhere near the standards where we would expect them to be today. But the cars themselves, despite the limitations, despite you know, the fact this is not a funded mod, this is a free to download mod that's been done for the community, they still look pretty good. I mean, they've done a good job with the car models. So let's move on to this pre-2 section here. So what have we got? We've got some more Toyotas in here. So this is the 93 spec cars. So this is the updated Carina, the slightly bigger Carina E. Never was as successful as the old Carina. Ford arrived on the scene in 93 as well, so we got Andy Rouse and Paul Radicic in the Ford Mondeo. Arrived late in the season as well, so they didn't do the whole thing, but such was the dominance of, or the success of that car, Paul Radicic was very much in contention for the championship at the end of the season, despite missing the first few races, which was very impressive indeed. Nissan were back as well, obviously, new livery, same kind of car, P10 Primera, but with racing legend Win Percy behind the wheel of that one for this year. Peugeot, again, back this time with two cars, one for Rob Gravitt and one for Eugene O'Brien. Welcome, Jim. Played Racer 7 to death. Yes, me too. I spent a lot of time in it. It's good to be back in it for a bit of nostalgia. BMW, again, E36s, but you can see there's a little bit of rear wing action going on. This is the 94 spec car, actually. So we've got a bit of a mixture of seasons going on at the same time here, with Joe Winkelhock and Steve Soper, and the mighty Schnitzer BMW team. The Vauxhall, what have we got here? This is the 94 spec Cavalier as well. Two different liveries despite being in the same team. Again, that same dynamic duo of Cleland and Allen. Renault, and this is the 94 spec car. So we don't have the 19 in this mod, but we have got the Laguna in its various guises. This is the first Renault Laguna to be introduced to the championship. Alain Menu driving that, who was obviously very successful driving for Renault, and Tim Harvey as well. That switched to Renault after his championship success in '92. Volvo. I remember when Volvo entered the into the championship, and it was like, really, Volvo? But oh wow, did they make an impact! The incredible 850 Estate was their first car of choice in the British Touring Car Championship, and that really did cause quite a stir. Not the usual kind of framework you would put on for a touring car, but nevertheless, the guys at TWR had a go at it, and, and here it is. Quite a clever design, actually, because I think if you put an actual road-going 850 Estate next to it, you'll probably notice that the racing version is a little bit smaller. Very clever. But Jan Lammers and, of course, Rickard Rydell, a stalwart of Volvo Motorsport, on board those two. Who else? We've got Alfa Romeo. Okay, now this is also a 94 spec car. This is post wing clipping. The Alphas turned up in 94 with quite a large rear wing, which was deemed to be not in the spirit of the regulations because the car never came with that particular rear wing in the actual, the glossy showroom magazine, so you couldn't actually order that car with that wing. And they got around it by putting the rear wing in the boot if you wanted it. But this is the 155, which is a very nice looking car, actually. I love the 155. I know it's quite square and angular, but in some cases that works really well, doesn't it? So, but again, with the smaller rear wing on, with Gabriele Tarquini, the 94 champion, with the dominant Alpha, and Giampiero Simoni, who had a rather crashing reputation, shall we say. So that's that particular pack. What else have we got here? So we also have other championships outside of the BTCC. So I'm not entirely sure what championship this is running in, but it's probably the Italian championship, I would have thought, because you can see the rear wing is different on the back of this Alpha here. It's more of a later spec wing. So what else we got here? The Audi. Now this is the Audi 80. This is before we even get into the A4 and the A series of Audis. This is the Audi 80. Quite a big car, really, that one. A couple of very famous drivers of Emanuele Pirro and Christian Abt driving that one. What's the BMW got to play for here? So it's another E36 with the rear wing on it. Oh, okay, it's interesting. Don't remember that car with that rear wing on it, but alright. Must have existed somewhere. Various 318i's in various different colour schemes. Opel, what have we got here? So this is the Vectra TNT livery, which is must be one from the continent, I think. Looking at that, it's probably one of the German touring cars. Okay, Peugeot. Patrick Watts, again in the 405, with the rear wing on this one. So it's looking good. Volvo again. And this is the 850 Saloon. When they changed from the the estate, they went to the saloon version. Quite the brick, isn't it? But it's such a cool looking car. Even though it's huge, really, as a car, it's it's still a very good looking thing. So Peter Brock livery on this one, which is really cool. When they raced in Australia, back in the day when they did the Bathurst 1000. Alternating between the V8s and Super Touring spec cars as well, and one for Jan Flash Nielsen there as well. S40, same deal going on here. This is the later specification Volvo, Jim Richards and Jan Nielsen again. And this one, a Chrysler Stratus. Now this is one that's run in the American series, obviously, because we didn't really get Chryslers over here until a lot later on. But looks very interesting. I don't know. Yeah, not a huge fan of the styling, but yeah, it's a Chrysler nonetheless, and it's a different car to drive, which is pretty cool. In that one's in Dodge livery as well, actually, which is quite nice. Yeah, the 155 was a great looking car. There's a good sound to it as well. Flames spitting about the back. Yeah, proper. Right. So what else have we got? This is 95 British Touring Car season, so I'm going to flick through these as well. The Alpha with the rear wing on it, so that's the 95 spec car. When Derek Warwick came into the championship. That was an interesting experience for him, I'm sure. The updated Renault Laguna with its increased aero. Ford Mondeos, they had their update as well in 95. Started going a little bit downhill. They were quick for 93 and 94, and then started to lose pace with everyone else, but not by lack of trying by Paul Radis. He really pushed hard to do his best for the car. And then a couple of privateer entries as well, which is pretty cool. So Mr. Matt Neal livery there. Again, Vauxhall Cavalier. This is John Clelland's year in the title chase with the Vauxhall Cavalier, joined by Britain's James Thompson. And we had a privateer of Nigel Smith on the list as well. We're just kind of rattling through these quite quickly. Peugeot 405, 3 different liveries. Patrick Watts, who was a stalwart of Peugeot in the day. Simon Harrison, Hamish Irvine, another privateer entry, that one. And Volvo, as we mentioned, with their 850. This is the British touring car livery of that. Toyota continued with their Carina E. Not much changed too much in the looks department there. BMW again, be another E36 in a different guise. Johnny Giacotto, very famous snitch the driver. An Australian David Brabham joined him that year as well. It's interesting to see the GoldenEye livery sponsorship on the side of the car, as it was Imperial as well. That was an interesting choice of sponsorship. Honda entered the championship with their Accord back in the day as well. So this is 95. This wasn't particularly quick straight out the box. It had a bit of promise, but it wasn't really a front runner in its first year. But when it came around to 1996, that is when things started to improve for Honda. And again, we've got loads of different cars going through here. 96 again was the 850 for Volvo. Kelvin Burt on board that one this time. the Nissan was still running the P10 spec of Primera. Not as successful as the previous Primeras were in the championship though. And guess what? We're still running E36s in the BMW camp. That car ran for so many years and was competitive most of the way through as well, so credit to them for that. So there's a couple of spec models of Ford here. So this is the 96 Mondeo, and then there's an SI as well, which is the older version run by a privateer team. So there's a couple of specs of Mondeo. And then of course the big story for 96 was the arrival of Audi, where we have the Audi A4 in the hands of John Bincliffe, and especially in the hands of Frank Bieler. Frank Bieler, who then went on to destroy the field in the first couple of races of the season, obviously with his four-wheel drive, and then TOCA thought that's probably a little bit too much of an advantage, so they had a bit of a weight increase, but still managed to go on and win the championship that year anyway. But yeah, arriving with four-wheel drive was a game changer in the championship, and yeah, absolutely demolished the competition with it. So we'll give that one a go, no doubt, at some points. 97, any major changes in here? Most major change would be the updated version of the Primera, the P11. David Leslie and Anthony Reid behind the wheel of that one. Nice looking model. And what else have we got here? The Vauxhall changed from the Cavalier to the Vectra in 97. So they had a couple of years of development with that car, and it was not quick straight out the box, but it got there in the end. What else have we got? Peugeot in 97. Look at that livery. It's just beautiful, isn't it? It's so good. Just love the gold and green colours of the SO Oulton sponsorship on the side of that car. Definitely one of my favourite looking ones of the whole championship. Yeah, so a few different 406s on the grid there. There's an Opel here as well, which I think is because it's a privateer entry, which it is. Jan Brunsted from Sweden joining the championship. I'm not sure when that was. I don't remember seeing that particular car on the grid, but must have been there. And what was the BMW that year? It was one. It was an E36. Can never get rid of it. Funky, yes, TOCA. We're getting TOCA ideas going on here. It's a mod for a Race 07 which we've come across, and it's so good to see these kind of cars again because they're just special, aren't they? I mean, there's the Blend 37 Laguna, which is a nice livery as well. 1998 we're on now, I think, aren't we? Yeah. Obviously the Volvo S40 came in 97. This is the updated one. This is 98, where Ricard won the championship that year. The Honda was a big favourite. This is our TOCA 2 era now. We've done TOCA 1 with 97. This is 98 and TOCA 2 era. I remember the Honda being quite a favourite in the TOCA 2 days. It was always really quick for some reason. So quite a popular car. The Nissan again was the same, but with that livery, with the kind of blurred racing helmet down the side. Very, very cool indeed. And of course the Matt Neal livery as he starts to get closer to the front guys. What else changed? Nothing else changed in 98, I don't think. 99, again, kind of reaching the point now of Super Touring in the British Touring Car Championship. After 99, things started to go downhill a little bit. This is the updated Ford Mondeo, which started to get a little bit better. It had a couple of difficult years, 97 and 98, and probably 96 as well, you could say. Didn't have the pace, but started coming back on form. Updated Honda Accord for 99. The next specification of that, James Thompson again leading the charge on that one. So from there we go to 2000, which really was just between three manufacturers really, Ford, Honda and Vauxhall. There were some privateer Nissans, but no factory Nissan efforts going on there. And then some extras in the end here as well. So we have an Alpha 156, which is starting to get towards the Super 2000 specification of cars, but there's a few extra ones thrown in there for good measure. So all in all, quite a lot of content for this mod. And the car models are, we mentioned at the start that they're a little bit you know, they're quite old looking and so on, but they pass. They are good to look at. You can tell exactly what they are. They're not what's the word I'm thinking of here? They're not hard on the eye as much. You know, they're easily recognisable for what they are. So I reckon we go take some for a bit of a race. We'll do some racing with them. See how they drive. See what the sounds are like. As we mentioned, we need the STCC pack installed in Race 07 to get some of the sounds working. So we're going to jump in Donington Park National, and I think what we should do is we go from oldest to newest. I think we should do that. So we'll go with the early 90s spec cars. And let's try, because the BMW E36 is in there somewhere, we've got to try the early days of it. We'll run with Steve Soper, one of my favourite drivers. We'll run with his livery. Got it on changeable weather, and we're going to do 5-lap races. Should we even bother with qualifying? I don't think we will. We'll just jump straight in the race, random starting position, and we'll go for it. Let's see how we get on. But it's so good to be back in Race 07 again. It's been so long since since we've been in this title, and it's been good to reinstall it and get back used to it again. And like we did with GT Legends, we've been able to get the wheel working, and it feels pretty good. So we'll see how we get on. Better cockpits than half the cars in Race Room, hey Azars? Oof, cutting. Okay, so here we go. 5-lap race, Donington Park. It seems to have plonked us quite near the front of the grid. So yeah, that'll work well. Got a nice little fly through of the grid. See where we stack up. Okay. Can we skip this? Can we? We can. Right. Engage first gear. Here we go. Wait for the lights. And we're away. Rear-wheel drive should help us off the start. Getting a bit of a look down the outside here. It's going to take it nice and easy to Redgate the first time round. Ooh, it does get a bit lively from the rear. Going down trainer curves for the first time in our BMW. Looks like it's actually wet underfoot, unless it's just a bit of a glitch from the Toyota ahead of us. Force feedback's actually pretty good. There's a lot going on. Yellow flag in sector 1, that's unusual for British touring cars, isn't it? Down to McLean's third gear, feed the power in gently. Here we go. Well, really bumpy through Compass. Fan of pink-coloured Motex. I'm not quite sure what that means, but I know this was a bit of a controversial team. But here we go. Got on the tail of the Toyota ahead of us, Will Hoy, John Clone out in front. Sounds pretty good. Might not sound like a 318 though, but at the same time it's workable. Front-wheel drive car's going a bit skittish. Will Hoy's going for a move. Yellow flag signals that everything's okay, is it? Okay, that's fine, we'll carry on then. Still on the inside. Can you make the move stick? Let's see if we can follow him through too far back. Made the move stick, and we're going to run on Cullen going in towards Compass. Still there. Is he there? Oh, we got him. Made the move stick. Right, let's go after Will. Oh no, too deep. Missed the barriers, that's the main thing. The weird yellow Motex on all race room cars. Oh, okay. Yes, sorry, I got you. I see what you mean. Yeah. Will's getting away. close that gap. This is in the days when front-wheel drive touring cars were not really popular choice. I mean, back in the late 80s and early 90s, rear-wheel drive was still very much keen, but front-wheel drive started to prove that you can still be quick, even with the wrong end of the car being driven. And obviously we've then gravitated more towards front-wheel drive cars, but we've still got some rear-wheel drive cars making things interesting, which is nice. The old Goddard chicane here at Donington Park. Yes, now I agree with that. Better sounds than most cars and project cars too. Yes, I would probably agree with that. There's some odd sounds going on. We drove that. Looks like it handles better than iRacing. It's got more feel. I'm gonna give. This is gonna be really controversial now, but I have trouble feeling the road in iRacing. That's probably something I can change, maybe. But I just don't feel like the tyres have any kind of contact with the road. But with this, I do feel like there's actually slick tyres underneath me, and that they have some kind of grip on the tarmac surface, which is comforting, even though it does slide around a little bit when you get enthusiastic with the throttle. There we go, we've caught Will again. Try and make this move decisive and clean, because we are Steve Soper and he doesn't do dirty overtakes. Unless your name is John Cleland and you're in a championship battle. Or Phil Bennett and he's annoyed you. Right. Oh, it's a bit of a late lunge, but we'll have it. Better graphics than rFactor 2. This is a GTR 2 converted Donington Park for Race 07. It looks quite good actually. Definitely looks pretty good. The Race 07 is from 2007, so that will make it, with live on-air maths, very old. That's all about this, so that's 14 years old. But it's driving quite nicely. I am quite surprised. Now I have got the force feedback set to medium feedback, albeit reasonably high on the percentage charts for it. But they're still putting out quite a bit of force, to be honest. So you don't miss out too much. And here we go, coming up to the line. Gonna upgrade the graphics to better than iRacing. There we go. Well, first race in the bag, and we managed to come away with a win. How about that? 10 points to Mr. Phil Rose. Thank you very much. I'll take that. Yes, I won the race. You're thinking Bond 007. Yeah, so the graphics don't look too bad, and the car drove really nicely as well. So that's very cool. Right, let's switch drive trains going on here now. So we'll do another race, and this time we will do it. Okay, we're going to go to Brands, but we're going to go Brands GP. Yep, Brands GP. There we go. We'll run the same class again, but I don't know. What do you reckon? Toro, the Carina, Cavalier, the Primera, or the 405? What should we go with? I'm thinking Toyota, because I quite like the look of that car. Jump in with Andy Rouse, another favourite driver here. I'll give this one a go, I think. Again, 5-minute race. Put it on as well, because I seem to have a changeable weather on Race 07, always just to kind of make it just overcast, and didn't really do much. But I don't know, it may have changed. We'll put the opponent skill level up just a tad, just to see if we can make it a little less easy to overtake them. They should upgrade this car to modern cars with online ranked multiplayer. Race room experience. In a room. You know what? I would really love to have these cars in a modern title as well, just to kind of give it another hurrah. Now I know we've got a British Touring Car Championship title coming out soon. #soon. I think it's 2022. I think it's next year sometime. And I know it's done by Motorsport Games, and I know there's a lot of worry about it's going to be tailored to the arcade style thing, so it's more accessible. But it is running, I believe it's running the rFactor 2 engine. But what I would love for them to do is, I know they're going to do the current spec touring cars on there, but as they've got the TOCA license, or the British Touring Car license, it would be so good if they actually did some heritage stuff to go along with it, just to kind of not to pad it out as such, but to give it more of a universal appeal. That'd be really good. So fingers crossed that works. So here we go. We're at Brands Hatch. Looks like we're 4th on the grid this time. And this is a genuine Race 07 track, so this hasn't been modded in. But you will notice there's it's one glaringly obvious issue with the track, and I'll see if I'll let you find it. Oh, we're wet. Have I got wets on? We'll soon find out. Have we got wipers? We have wipers. The game that brought you wipers. And away we go. Front wheel drive, not getting off the line. Everyone else is, but I'm not. Okay, up towards Padicle Bend, losing places under a wrist. And here we go into Padicle Bend, dropping down the hill. And we'll head up to Druids. On the inside we go. Have you spotted the glaring issue yet? Oh, front wheel drive. Come on. Front physics are working. Got sideways, nailed the throttle, and they brought it back. Okay, let's get a good run onto the back straight down towards Hawthorne. On board with the new BTCC going, that's good. But if front-wheel drive cars try like they do in RF2, I might out. Yeah, hopefully they know that. I'm really hoping they do. Now, Brands Hatch Grand Prix in this particular year is one of those races which will stand out in history. It's where the two Carinas, in battling John Cleland for the lead, ended up taking each other out right here. Slid down the barriers. No overtaking, got yellow flags everywhere. Okay, I think we're good now. Round the Jeff Allen round the outside. No. Better than AC then. Bit of a lock up. Still getting a bit all over the place in front of us. Somehow back up to 4th. Cars all over the place. Squeeze up the inside of the Cavalier, no problem. So that's the glaringly obvious problem, is that Paddock Hill, there just is no hill. Which is a shame, but it's okay. We will overlook it because it's old. The track also seems to be significantly wider than you would find on other titles. So we'll use all that extra real estate to our advantage, hopefully. So we're racing in the rain here, so difficult to draw comparisons against the BMW. However, you do get a good feeling through the wheel of how much the front end is trying to fight you. Now the Carina didn't have power steering, so you'd expect it to have quite brutal feedback through the wheel. It's tricky in the rain. Alright, let's try and see if we can make up some time. I think they seem to be quite slow through Sheen Curve. We'll just use some of that curve on the inside behind us. Tim Harvey up ahead of us. Back on par with the two leaders. There's an interesting block. But to be fair, the cars look pretty good on track, don't you think? Oops, sorry. Touring car racing. Right. This is the order that the cars were in back in '92 when that incident occurred. We'll try not to repeat that. Just trying to be gentle with the throttle. We'll have a bit of a twitch coming out of Graham Hill Bend, and then instantly cuts me off. Jim, we'll do the 405 next, I think. We'll do that. Very difficult corner, this one. So quick, but you've got to be accurate on turn in, and when you've got rain to deal with as well, it's extra tricky. Wheels snapping around every time I change gear. AI definitely don't like Sheen Curve. There's also no camber on Sterling's. Doesn't help with trying to get the car around there. Use the outside line. Ooh. Ah! We're left with roaring thunder. What happened there? Oh. We've had a crash. We'll reload, shall we? Right. Well, that's interesting. Let's load back in. And there we are. Okay, so that didn't end quite like we expected it to. Let's try again. I guess we're going in that 405 a lot earlier than we expected. It's old software, bear with us everybody. Right. Yeah, F for Racer 7. Oh dear. Okay. So let's go take it on the road. We'll go to Silverstone next for next round of this little excursion. We're going to jump in the Peugeot, the 405, and hope that this doesn't crash. Game blown away by your send it move. Yes. It's like, what do you mean you're trying to go around the outside at clearways? You can't do that. Crashed. Right, here we are. We're on the grid at Silverstone, and we'll hope it works this time. So I think we're a bit further back. Quite a long way further back in our Peugeot. So here we go. 5 laps of Silverstone Grand Prix. Eventually. So, something is not happy. Oh, we're back. Hopefully we're back on here. Yeah, we are. Okay, that's fine. Well, that was weird. Don't think much of the day-night transitions. Yeah, no, they're a bit brutal, aren't they? They just kind of chuck you instantly from daytime to nighttime without any kind of warning. My simracer, yes, this was the precursor to R3E. It's kind of joint between Racer 7 and GTR Evo. So yeah, this was prior to Race Room, and all the way through the menu systems on Racer 7. I've just been confused because I'm where my camera position is. Through the menu systems on Racer 7, it's pointing you towards Race Room as the thing you should be checking out. Yeah, so my camera position's a bit funny. I'm kind of sat McLaren F1 style in the middle of the car. But that's okay. We'll make use of it. Yeah, nice halo. Okay, so we got some work to do. Oh, thanks, Kickstart My Career. That's really kind of you. I appreciate that. Even if it does go wrong, like it has done twice this evening with the software crashing on us, but hopefully that's going to be the end of that. Well, that's one move. Let's get past our namesake, Paul Gravett. No, Rob Gravett, not Paul Gravett. The names are mixed up. Through Bridge Corner. What a corner that is, by the way, Bridge Corner. Do miss that corner. Picking off cars left, right and centre. Mind if I do, just got to be inside there. Four or five's feeling pretty nice so far. Probably Red and Row ahead of us. So down to Cops Corner. Down to fourth gear. Turn it in. Hard back on the power again. Don't fancy going side by side through Mags and Beckett's just yet. So slipping behind all this touring car action happening ahead of us. Keith O'Dore getting into someone. Okay. Sitting P19. We're having a bit of a wobble on the straight. Very helpful for us. Down towards Stowe. That was nearly a punt. Or a British touring car attempt on left tap. Braking is not quite on the same level as theirs. Ours is seemingly a bit better. Keith's still on the outside there, on the inside of the corner, my right hand side. I think we rounded him up. I'm just going to pull in front of him here. Sorry about that, Keith. Uh-oh. I'm not purposely dive bombing these people. Yeah, I deserve that. Okay. Flat out through bridge. Bit of a lock up into Brooklands. To Priory. Light up the throttle on the exit. We've got ahead of us is Ray Bell. A couple of the Pro Drive BMWs on there as well. A whole train of E36s ahead of us. That's 2 laps in the books. Still have some time to claw back some more places. We can hopefully get a top 10 by the end of this, by the looks of it. P16 so far. To the quick Maggots and Beckett's complex. Don't come back towards me. Okay, let's get a good run out of here, which we have. Onto the hangar straight we go. And we'll seeing Jeff. Let's pick that one off quite nicely. Use the camber, which isn't normally a thing at Stowe Corner, but in this version it is, so you've got to take advantage of it. club corner. Alain Menu ahead of us. He made his debut in the British Touring Car Championship with BMW, and then promptly switched to Renault, and there he stayed for many, many years. Come on, little Peugeot. Ooh, big wobbles from both BMWs ahead of us, so we can do the trademark move down the inside into Brooklands. Managed to do. Just going to give him a bit of space on the exit. Tim Sugden, Smasher Sugden, trying to get in our way. Inside of him into Luffield. Oh, Ray Bell's back for more. I wonder if this is compatible with Crew Chief. I don't know actually. I've not checked it out. It might be. I think I have seen it in the list of games available. I'll have to check that out. I'm sure it is. But it's so nice to see that there's still life in these old G-Motor titles. But they are still usable. Sneak through on the inside there, very nice indeed. Up to P11. There's our top 10 right ahead of us there. We have a lap and a half or so to see if we can steal that off him. You know what, I know we've had our issues. I know we've had a couple of crashes. I am actually, genuinely, enjoying driving these cars. There's the trademark curb force feedback pulling effect. Oh, it's not on the list, is it not? Oh, okay, that's a shame. Come into anything like GTR Evo or anything like that. David Leslie then, let's see if we can squeeze past you somewhere. Like up the inside into the bridge. Not where I was expecting to make the move. Nevertheless, I will take it. Andy Rouse is ahead of us twice. Because he's that good. Okay, coming up to start the last lap then. What can we do? Can we get much further up into the top 10? Hi Tish, the new AMS2 update is out. It is, yes, I saw it. It dropped half an hour before we started our stream, and it was typical. I saw that because, like, well, we'd already scheduled to do this stream anyway, so we stuck with our guns, and here we are racing British touring cars in Race 07. But we will do something on the new updated content. I'm really excited to try the Corvette. I think it'll be incredible. So. Something will be done on that very, very soon indeed. Okay, just pick off Andy. Part 1 into Stowe. Oh, it works with GT Legends GTR2. It should do then. You might just be able to use. If that's. Ooh, we've had Steve Soper's getting into John Cleland. Who would have thought it? Is that programmed in? It's at Silverstone as well. Oh, that's just perfect. Wrong part of the circuit, but oh, that's incredible. Must have been a championship deciding race. Okay. Well, we managed to make it up to P6 with all the kerfuffle that was going on now behind us. From the back of the grid to nearly in the top 5. Not a bad effort, but at the same time, AI is probably a little bit on the low side, so we'll have to up it again. Great sneak P5 on the line. No. P6 it is, that's fine. I'm going for first, says John. Yes. No, that's not what he said, Murray. Well, there we go. That was fun. Enjoyed that. Once we got going, we had our little scare to start off with, but we got going in the end, so that was good. Right. Oops. So that's 92 cars. Let's go to... should we do a bit of Knockhill, shall we? I reckon that's a good plan. We'll go with Knockhill. We're going to fast forward a little bit. We're going to go to... Let's jump to the 95 season. We'll go 3 years ahead of where we were. So... Actually, is that... I don't know. What we'll do... We'll go... I'll get myself sorted in a minute. Is it this one? No, it's not that one. It's got to be this one then, isn't it? Right, so we're going to jump in the Alpha. We're going to try out the 94 Alpha 155 with the 94 spec car. So we'll pop that to 104, because I think that was usually where I would have the weather for... the opponent's skill for Race 07. I was looking at weather, said weather, that's what happens. So Knockhill with the 94 cars. And what we're trying to do, or trying not to do, is repeat what Gabrielli did here in period, because I believe there was a rather hefty barrel roll into the Duffer Stip, which I'm going to try and avoid if I can. And hopefully what we're also going to try and avoid is a crash on race start. So we'll hit race and see what happens. Here we go, got our big Volvo 850s, all of them leading the way, in fact. 4 Volvo 850s at the front of the grid. It's not rigged. We're miles back. So here we go, on the grid, in our Alpha. Ready. Here we go. Being at the back of the grid, we're having to start uphill. Been smashed into already. Just because I'm in an Alpha and you think I'm cheating. Leave me alone. Let's all be tidy and orderly through here, shall we? We'll just run into the back of everybody. Now, with the undulations and the angles going on here at Knockhill, as one of the Toyotas goes off stage left and then instantly comes back on, you get some rather interesting gyro options going on here, and I thought I'd turn that off, but clearly not. Sorry, Win. So yes, you may have to watch some of this race kind of like this. I hope you don't get a freaking new nag. We will flatten out at some point. To the hairpin for the first time. It's all been rather frenetic to start us off. Chunk. Sneaking inside there, and we'll see if we can... nicely in front of us there. Steve Soper on the track ahead of us here, everyone going quite slowly over the chicane. Yes, the AI does leave a little bit to be desired, but I guess it recreates British touring cars quite well. Knockhill, or like Punt Hill. There's action central at Knockhill. Ooh, that's a big move under braking. Going to stop us from getting through. Just as I remember BTCC in this era. Yeah, nothing's changed. It's all the same. Right. Let's see if we can get a clean run through Duffer Stip this time, up over the curb. It's a fair amount of cut. Renault Accident Management, it says on the back. We'll see. Manage this. Oop, jumpy arrow, get out of the way. Julian Bailey, ex-F1 driver in front of us, turns to touring cars. Never really had that much success in touring cars, but there's always that infamous Toyota moment when they run into each other. At Silverstone, turned one on its roof, Will Hoyt. So, I know the AI is probably not in its most competitive guise at the moment, but could also be the fact that the Alpha's OP. Hope anyone watching the stream doesn't get seasick, because some funky angles going on. Let's go get those Volvos. Uh-oh. Late dive bomb. I would have made that corner if it wasn't for Rickard giving me a bit of a punt. Best era of BTCC in your opinion, my simracing? Yeah, it is really timeless, isn't it, this era of British touring cars? Sneaking up the inside. Oh, crunch. Finally got the move done on the last lap. We're getting made up to P10. Well, we managed to successfully negotiate the circuit without doing a barrel roll, so count that as a win. It appears my alpha is sinking. Yes, felt like that as well. It's just like, ugh. Need some new shocks. Right, so yeah, P10 outside the points. Shame. Volvo whitewash at the front. Well, that was cool. Right, let's see, what else can we do? Oulton Park. Go. As much as I'm not a fan of the island circuit, let's go the full circuit. It's not really period. Phil learned his driving style from Nicola Larini. It's just put it up in front of people and just hope they get out of the way. Yeah, we'll go full circuit at Oulton. We're still in the '94 season. We've still got all the later goodness to come as well, but I want to jump in before we move on, because a lot of these cars will be kind of much the same as we go through, but we're going to have to jump in the Volvo. We're going to have to drive the 850 estate. I'll take Rickard's car. And bump up the AI strength once again. See what happens. Oulton Park, my local circuit. One of my favourites as well, so this should be interesting. So where are we on the grid? 12th, okay. Mid-pack-ish? Yeah, exactly mid-pack. Okay. Here we go. British touring cars arrive at Oulton Park with its incredibly wide, uncharacteristically wide circuit. And we have 5-cylinder goodness underneath the engine cover of the Volvo 850 estate. Point. Just don't mind me. Oh, the big curb. Right, there's the Mondeos. Very successful in the World Touring Car Cup in the hands of Mr. Paul Velicic. Island bend, very quick. down the Shellowell's hairpin. Excuse me. Sorry. Too busy avoiding the crash. Well, I say avoiding, but bracing for the crash. Change down. Again, you'll notice the standard of the track isn't exactly up there with iRacing in terms of accuracy of layout. All that extra weight pendulum around. The whole documentary about Oulton Park when it was new in the 50s. The selling point being it was just as wide as the Nürburgring. Because that's obviously renowned for being incredibly wide. And now the rod down to Lodge Corner, which distinctly lack of of all undulation. It's all getting feisty at the top of Daly. Okay, well suddenly we find ourselves in P4. It's interesting bumps going into Oulton Corner, and again, even more interesting bumps coming down towards Cascades as we almost take off at the top of the hill. Oh, it's a rough and tumble game, this British Touring Car Arc, isn't it? Alan's still having his accident. Get control of it. We lost a heap of spots. Okay, I'll probably admit, this may well be a better driving experience if you're driving against real people. The AI don't seem to like Oulton Park. It's the Oulton Park AI, you remember her, Osiris? I promise you, I'm not trying to do this on purpose. This is BTCC race. Ah dear. But how good does this sound though? Class D drivers trying to catch slides on iRacing experience. Ferrari Cup anyone? And I'm not getting it stopped. Not getting used to this Volvo for some reason. Okay, so we're still P4, miraculously. Hitting the rev limiters like we were on the finished rally stages in the Quattro. The average gamer muscle subscriber races Oulton Park. Oh, got one up in the barriers there. Is that a spot for us, or has he just been parked there for ages? Yeah, casualty from probably lap 1. Get yourself together. That curve. The Volvo definitely seems strong in terms of outright pace because they're at the front again. I know I'm not making this look particularly easy, but it's actually quite pleasant to drive. Just need to dial my braking points back a little bit. And be smoother too. Right, down to Oulton for the penultimate time. car tucked in. Avoid the large Volvo on the exit. Take off and cascade, well, top of the avenue. Use all the curve on the inside there. So this is for the lead in this crazy race. Move. Right, we've managed to escape the madness ahead of us. Escape without bug splat with my wiper, because I can. It's a rough old circuit, this one. Curse of Phil strikes again, tells himself he's doing okay. Being aimed for now. That's going too fast into the first part of the Knickerbrook chicane. Yeah, it didn't like it. Straight back in the heat of the action again though. The Druids. Are you tapping your brakes while they're in? Are you trying to kill us? Right, on the brakes early. Make sure we make Lod's corner. Bits fly off the front of my Volvo, but luckily it's built strong. Last lap coming up, dive bomb into our own old hole. And lift off. I'll have to get a screenshot of lift off at the top of the hill there, and we'll post it up somewhere. How to drive your 850 touring car. Now that's not your orthodox move into the Shell Oils hairpin. However, I didn't touch him. I probably scared him out of the way, but I didn't touch him. Past the Ford, we have. Right, this time not so quick into Knickerbrook, we'll just get in there nice and gently. Okay. Well, we managed to make it back up into a podium position. The Alpha's up ahead of us in the lead, but Volvo second and third. We managed to keep it on track. One more corner to do so. And there we have it, across the line in our estate car, which is now considerably battered, or at least it should be. Podium for us at Oulton Park. Ah dear, well that was rough. Don't congratulate me for that, that was a terrible race. Right, so that's... Ooh, where should we go next? Well, we haven't done Croft yet, so we're going to do Croft next. So let's jump forward then. 95, where things changed on the aero front. Oh, should we jump straight in and drive the Champions car and see how that goes? Drive the Cavalier. Just click that up a little bit more, in the hope that we might be able to get some closer racing. We'll see. Okay, so where are we? We are 15th. And it's wet at Croft. That doesn't happen very often, does it? Right. Our wipers on. First go. At least we're on the inside, so we can be the one to provide the Skittles action. Or just go backwards. Normally that's where the red mist would kick in and you just totally miss your braking point and just send everybody off.
Caution, single yellow flag in sector 1, no overtaking.
Okay, everyone being rather kind and polite going through the first couple of corners. Oop. Missed that corner then, must have been a lovely driver. Let's take 2 into the braking zone for Tower Bend. Now towards the really quick jump like S's. Missed. Oh, there's a car off. That was more out of avoidance than anything else, trying to overtake that guy. You're a fan of Croft, Azaris. There's a really tight final complex of corners here at Croft. Normally you wouldn't miss that apex as much as that, but I did. So let's improve that next time around. The slowest corner in British Touring Car Championship calendars. Right. It's raining, it's usual for Yorkshire. Well, the new Accords ahead of us, introduced for this season. You're not that local to it. Okay. I've never been to Croft actually. I should make the trip one day. I've never actually been. And sadly as well, I've never been to Knockhill, but one day. So quick through there. It's very difficult when it's wet too. Oh, there's the move. That's that's some solid tyre bundles. That's what happens. You take a little bit too much speed to that first right-hander, and then you end up on a wheel on the grass. There's no going back from there, especially with a wet track like this. Damage to our rhythm. Might be alright. No, we're just sailing off for fun. Oh no. Okay, let's restart that. Oh. Yes, we know we're a long way back. Here we go. Slightly better start this time around, as in didn't lose all the red's worth of spaces. Oh, we've got a BMW turn around ahead of us, and we're being ploughed into. That's right, we'll just push him out of the way. It's fine. It's okay. The patience behind is what's required. Cut that off. And then we're up and away like nothing ever happened. Our wipers on again so we can see. Definitely a fine art racing in the rain, even on race 07. Gotta be careful because it is very slippery. I thought rain was slippery. Yellow flag being waved there.
Single yellow flag.
Let's try and keep it on the track.
No overtaking.
Braking point for Sunny in.
Caution. Single yellow flag in sector 2. No overtaking.
More yellow flags. Never thought it. Just queue up nice and orderly to get around the hairpin. Formula room not helping me with the lock there. It's too tight. Going to be having a bit of an excursion off to the left hand side there. It's exploring all the tarmac available to him. Not firing into other cars at the moment. Ooh, wow. Well, that ended badly for a lot of people. Gained about 8 or 9 spots there. Hopefully they manage to clear that by the time I get around, otherwise we have another nasty surprise coming through the fast S's. Lock stops trying to get around that. Straight line it over those curbs, keep it as tight as we can through here. Power on as gently as we can. Fire out the other side through the chicane, avoiding the tyre bundles. And down the back straight. Difficult to get it stopped into there at the best of times, let alone when it's wet. Looks like they've all got themselves going. Let's stay on track. Taken by one of the privateer Vauxhalls now. What's going to happen again? Catch one of those curves where you haven't got your hands properly on the wheel, it just rips it out of your hands. Right, fourth lap then. Let's see if we can get back on terms with this other cavalier ahead of us. Just they do rallycross at Croft, so we'll just make the most of the grass as well as the tarmac. Chicane once again, see if everyone's got through here. safely. Nope, there's someone in the middle of the track, and he's just kind of ploughed straight into the back of him. And now we're going to do the same. Oh, as if they were almost aiming for them. Oh dear. I think that one is doomed from the off. We'll get out of there while we still have our wrists intact. Okay. Right. Let's move forwards then. So we're going to... I'm going to go to Thruxton now. So, TOCA 1 days, 1997 season. Hands up who played TOCA 1. I played TOCA 1, not very often, not as much as TOCA 2, but I did play TOCA 1, mostly down to availability on my part. But yeah, it was very exciting when that came out. So what are we going to... What are we going to run here? We haven't run the Renault yet, so we're going to... Although no, because we're going to go into 98 next. We're going to run the Audi in its... I think it's still four-wheel drive in... yeah, it is still four-wheel drive in 97. Check, make sure it is. Oh no, it's got rear-wheel drive on there. Oh well, that's fine. Well, I'll run with the Audi anyway. I've not driven the Audi yet. It was one of my favourite cars when it came out, actually. I really like the look of it. Throw in a sneaky nut store. Well, you know, might do. Might throw in some WTCC circuits just for fun. And some STC1 as well. Nut store from the Sunken Alpha Nausea Simulator. Yes. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure my my dinner would take that. Okay, so here we go. This is where it's going to start looking really familiar for a lot of people who've played the TOCA series. Look at this. But it looks good though, right? I mean, yes, it's not ACC looks. It's not. Yeah, it's not even race room looks, is it? But it's good. It's not too bad at all. It's better than TOCA 1 looks. Let's say that. So it's brought it up to speed into a better look altogether. But yeah, properly cool. Right, here we are in the Audi at Thruxton. Away we go. To Allard, first time through. John Bincliffe ahead of us. John Bincliffe on the side of us. Come on, it's supposed to be my teammate. Help me out here. And into the complex for the first time. Big curve on the inside there. Oh. Force feedback level is considerably stronger in the Audi for some reason. Thruxton, the British Touring Car's just been here this last weekend. I seem to remember back in the days of TOCA 1, most of Thruxton was just flat out. Oop, I've got Bincliffe still alongside us. Oh, I've got Calvin Burt on the other side of me. 140 mile an hour up the back straight, gearbox winding away. that's not the direction through the chicane. Let's restart that. I want to have a good race here. Come on, let me race. Okay, here we go. Let's get a better start this time. Or not. Well, it's quite even, so it might be alright. Sorry. That was My mistake, not judging everyone's braking points going into the complex for the first time. It's okay, we'll let them have their moment, and then we'll
Caution, single yellow flag
pick up the
in
pieces.
sector 1. No overtaking.
Okay, we're back up and running, albeit at the tail end of the field, but it's okay. Let's make it work. It was an interesting line, wasn't it? There's been a few interesting lines this evening. Chimney wall ahead of us. Into Church Corner. It probably is flat out, but I'll try that next time. The Vectra's behind me. Rev limiter. Okay, this time let's try and get through here without clouting someone. Okay, up the inside there. Battling with the independents at the back of the pack here. Lee Brooks ahead of us in the Peugeot. I'll dab our brakes just to bring the car back in line. And then this time we are going to keep it pinned through Church Corner. Not going to lift at all. Right onto the curb on the outside there. And braking to the board. Got a one facing the wrong way in the chicane again. Ambitious up the inside. Nice and neat that time, thankfully. God damn. Force feedback's really tight on this one. Corner's not normally flat out, but on here it is. Things seem to have settled down a little bit. But we will see what happens next time we get through the chicane. Calmer ride through Church Corner that time round. The top end needed. Oh, we've got a car on his roof. Bring out the red flag. Alan Gow, throw the red flag. Making progress, slowly but surely. There's the slightest of lifts going through that right-hander there, but carried the speed quite nicely. Need a 7th gear. Come on, give me one more. Edging stage right. Gladly take that position. a little bit of a flinch on that left-hand kink coming into the complex, so we can easily get ourselves up the inside into that. Final lap then. We're on P14. Might be able to pick off this other Honda in front of us before we finish this one. Decent run through here, not that he's going to be particularly slow through there. It's all about the chicane. It's going to happen. We're going to smash into the back of him most likely, but ooh, there's cars everywhere. And this I'm not quite able to control his front-wheel drive power. Oh dear. Oh, that was funny. P11 we ended up in the end there. I don't remember the AI being that difficult in the original TOCAs, just trying to keep it clean. Right. Next time we go back to Donington Park, we'll go do the Grand Prix circuit, I think. Yeah, we'll do that one. Anything else from 97 we want to see before we move on to 98? Well, we'll do the 98 Volvo S40 because that's the one which won the championship that year. We haven't done the Laguna yet, have we? I don't think we have. We'll run with the Laguna and then we'll run the S40. Go with Alan Menu's car. Big racer and ranked lobby vibes there. Rookie servers. Yeah. It's very familiar with a BMW 235i Cup race that we did at Race Room Circuit. All sorts of issues going on there. Okay, so here we are. Where are we on this one? P20 going on to this particular race. Let's go. Here we go. This is TOCA 2 for you. Even where the TOCA 2 intro video was put together was at Donington Park. Got Nigel Mansell in the Ford Mondeo there. Hope he doesn't hit the bridge this time. Gianni Morbidelli. Tommy Rustad. Full grid of iconic touring cars. Not one of them looks bad. It's all really cool. Alright. So here we go. Now, Williams engineered Laguna. We're away. There's a train of cars trying to go to the inside into Redgate. We'll try and be clean this time round, shall we? Everyone slams on the brakes going down through Hollywood. We'll make it our goal not to seriously maim or injure any other car in this particular race. We'll see how long that lasts. Squeeze on Matt Neal then, sorry. Now we're on the Grand Prix loop this time round, so we're not going to be doing the right-left, we're going to be left-right at the end of the straight here. We've got on Tim Harvey ahead of us. No, he's not going to put the blocker on. Much tighter chicane through there now. Laguna's one of your favourites, was it, Funky? We unfortunately... Oh, goodness. We're getting around there. We unfortunately never really liked the Lagunas in our family, purely because one day when we were out driving, going through a particularly narrow bit of road, some guy in a Laguna knocked our wing mirror off and just drove off. So Laguna's had a bad name in our family. Nothing to do with the car, of course, it was just too wide. Car on our inside just about. Love the Donington Park cascade, well, the Carina curve, shall I say. Such a lovely flowing part of circuit. And then lining up and moving to the old hairpin is always incredibly satisfying. Oops, too deep into McLean's. Now in '98, when the British Touring Car Championship came to Donington Park with Mansell at the wheel of the Mondeo. It wasn't him. It was rather wet and it turned into a very entertaining race. Mansell nearly winning the thing. Trying to get the steering lock on for the hairpin, it's hard going. Hoyer ahead of us here, so we're going to fake the dummy going into the red gate, slide up the inside. Touring car, the mirrors are supposed to fly off here. Not on the road, they're not. Oops. Too much of a cut for the old hairpin that time through, but race director says fine. Pick up the pieces there, no problem. So let's have that marker board on the right hand side there. .280 degrees of rotation all the way. Yeah, the steering wheel doesn't really match my inputs. I need to change that really. A little bit easier around there that time. Right, penultimate lap coming up. We're in P15. And so far, fingers crossed, we've managed to avoid any serious contact. So, next question for you guys. Obviously the AI are flawed at best. What would you guys reckon to doing an online race with some of these cars if we organise that? Anyone fancy renewing or reliving some TOCA 2 days online? Let us know in the comments and we'll see if we can make that happen. Is it fixed at 280? Is it? Okay. Steering is heavy again, but not as heavy as the Audi, that's for sure. So it's a little bit more manageable. Final lap coming up. Well, been rather static since we got into 15th. We've not really made too much in the way of progress with the field on this one. It's been a bit more of a steady race. It's good. Makes it a bit more of a challenge for us, rather than just cruising through the field. Yeah, I was never going to stay on track on the exit there, missing the apex by a country mile. It's so bumpy through Coppice, it's just like down to the chicane for the last time. Closing on the brakes, but no way to make it through here. Alright, well there we go, we ended up P15, but bit of a tighter race that time in the Laguna, no major offs, so that's good. Oh, shoulder's killing me now. Right, well that was fun, that was good. Okay, so what we're going to do, do a couple more runs I reckon in the 98 class. 99 and 2000 doesn't really change too much, so we'll do some more 98 runs. Tell you what, should we go for an overseas venture, shall we? Let's go for Oschersleben, one of my favourites. So, oh no, actually no, we're going to go Istanbul Park. Anyone else love this circuit? I used to run this all the time around here, and Valencia was good as well. But Istanbul, we haven't driven that for ages, so we're going to go 98 again. We've driven the Renault, we've driven a Volvo. I've checked it works on Linux as funky, so I can get the mod working as well. Then yes, oh brilliant, that'd be cool. Right, so yeah, we've driven a Volvo already. We've driven an Audi. What should we go with? We've got to try the Honda then, haven't we? See if the OP Honda from TOCA 2 days is still OP. Right. Yeah, we'll leave the settings as they are. They seem to be working okay. But what I might do actually, just to, I don't think I can change anything in terms of steering rotation on the controls here. I don't think it was possible. I did go through this before, but I've got it on 100% sensitivity. No speed sensitive steering. Yeah, it's fine. We'll just stop the steering lock in the garage if we can do that. So we'll try that. Yeah, it's going to be cheap these days on Steam. $249. Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so Honda, go with Jimmy T's car and load into Istanbul Park. We're going on an away trip on our British Touring Car season. But a good fun track to drive actually with the BTCC cars. I actually really enjoy driving them around here. So here we go. Got a nice full grid of British Touring cars. Set up Steering lock. No, it's fixed at 13.5. Great. That's right, there aren't too many tight corners, I don't think, other than maybe the last 3. We'll make it work. Oh, look, Ricard's on pole. Who have we got next to him? Anthony Reid, of course. Thompson. Alan Menu, Leslie. It's all pretty much as it would have been in '98, so yeah, Plato's up there. Ivan, of course, in the Audi. Mansell's a bit out of position, but we'll let him off. Cleland, Morbidelli. Okay, let's go racing. In our Honda. And we're away at Istanbul Park. Downhill, turn 1. This corner's quite a tricky one. It's a bit of a blind apex. You kind of arrive at it quite late. The car tucked in and then instantly on the brakes. Let's go around to the right. Jumping downhill. Flat out through here. A little bit of a straight to sort things out. And we brake hard for the uphill right-hander. Carry some speed all the way up here and then going to be all the way around the triple apexed left-hander at the top of the hill here under the bridge, turn in. Well, it is triple apex if you meet every apex, but you don't always. Just going to stick up the inside of the Volvo, don't mind if I do. Excuse me, Ivan. Difficult downhill braking into this little left-right chicane almost. Up and up the other side, and then we have the long straight section. Well, it's flat out, but not straight. Down towards. Oh, okay, I'm just going to lift off. Make it 3 wide. The last section intact. Honda's feeling pretty good so far. So we can track down these guys ahead of us. We're in the top 10 now, so let's see if we can move a bit further. What I also love about Race 07 back in the day, obviously, it's slightly a bit of a side note to the Super Touring stuff. It's how they implemented the track falling apart physics at Puebla in Mexico. When they went there, the track was just totally degrading. Actually, there's 4 apexes, not 3. But yeah, so they basically just threw loads of gravel over it to make it really slippery. The Honda's quite nice actually, it's got quite a good cockpit to it actually, the interior is modelled quite nicely. Good sounds. go. Up and over the line we go again. But I'm actually, overall, I'm quite impressed with the feel of the cars on this in this mod. But actually, Andreas has done a very good job of this. And it's good that it's all packaged together and you get all these different areas to go and drive and enjoy. And it makes a nice change from some of the other content that we have available to us in modern format, but it's always nice to have a step back and just have a look at where sim racing has come from, and also in this situation to have a bit of a blurry-eyed look back over the very early days of sim racing with TOCA. Desk vibrating to death. There we go. Bit of a smoother run through that section. Flat on the exit. Gaining a little bit on the guys ahead. So I think for our last race, what we're going to run, we're going to run the Primera, I think. Definitely have a good straight line speed advantage in the Honda. Catching up with that Laguna, no problem. Line them up for a move on the exit here. Oh, got the power down quite well, so it's alright. Inside. Oop, turned it anyway. To be fair, I probably wasn't going to make that one. We both carry on. No harm done. You can still buy the sim, yeah, it's available on Steam. Welcome along, by the way, Steve. Good to see you again. Yeah, you can buy the sim still. In fact, you can probably get it in a package. Yeah, that's it. So you can get the race room injection, which is basically everything, which includes all the GC cars, some classic cars in there as well. It's kind of like back in the TOCA 2 days, you'd have some of the support classes. Remember, they had the Fiestas and they had the TVRs as well, I seem to remember. Formula Fords. So with Race 07 you get Formula BMW, you get the Minis, you get Radicals, as well as some nice little support classes to go along with the Super Touring mod. So that was quite fun. We've got alongside the Laguna and got ahead of Laguna. Just about got it stopped. Here we go. One more lap after this. This is the final lap we're on now, presumably. Yeah. But it is actually quite a good experience just driving these touring cars. I mean, I know it's a bit lackluster in the AI, as we've discussed, but you can still have a decent, a good giggle with it anyway, if nothing else. And the fact that Steve Soper took Cleveland out at Silverstone is just beyond amazing. Oh, so there's a sim boom pack as well, okay. Should include GTR2 as well, I thought. We've got a bit of a run on the Honda. See if we can slide down the inside. We don't really need to, we just pull alongside in a straight line. So up to P5 now. Is there a chance we might be able to gain another position before the end of this with our straight line speed advantage in the Honda? Let's get in behind this Renault and see if we can make it work. Weaving, trying to break the toe. Yeah, block pass, got it done. Ricard's going to take the win on this one. We're just off the podium in 4th, but it's a good race though. Oh, mega. Yeah, that sounds like a good pack. There we go. Oh, wrists. Had a battering. Well, to be honest, that was that was epic. Actually, I really enjoyed that. Right, we're going to do one more, and we're going to run in the Primera. And we should probably go back to a British Touring Car circuit, but which one? Which one are we going to do? Let's have some frantic action at Brands Hatch, but we're going to go Brands Indy. And as we're running the Primera, we should probably run the 99 pack, which is when the Nissan actually won the championship with Laurent Aiello. So we're going to grab one of those here. What we are going to do is we're going to run David Leslie's name for this one, who we lost in a helicopter accident a long time ago. Very sad. So we're going to run his car on this one, and we're going to run at Brands Indy. Going to be a bit of a action-packed bumper cars affair here, I reckon, but we are starting a bit further up the grid, which might help our cause. Unless, of course, I get one of my amazing starts, in which case we'll be back in P20. So as mentioned at the beginning of the stream, this was really the last real hurrah for super touring cars before 2000, where it really fell and flopped a little bit with only 3 manufacturers on the grid. But this is the last of the booming years of British touring cars in the super touring era. So here we go then. Nissan Primera. Let's see what it's like. And the front 3 get away, but not too bad. Into paddock non-hill. Okay, so we're up and running for 5 short, sharp action laps at Brands Indy. Honda's going for a move on the Volvo. Keep it tucked in nice and tight through clearways. Got a good move, got a good run there. Got both of them. Let's go get those 2 Nissans who are running away ahead of us. Ooh, we're getting shuffled out by the Volvo. Okay, fair play, go around the outside of me. Let's try harder. Cover brakes. Do not push on the wing. Is that an invitation? still alongside me, so I'm just going to hold the inside into Druids. Interesting gradient changes in the middle of Druid's Corner, which isn't really how it is, but drive to what you've got. Right, that's third place nailed on for now. Primera train at the front of the grid. Over the stripe for the third time. Hey, I'm not liking paddock non-hill very much. So we're there or thereabouts with the two guys in front. Definitely clear raises our corner where we gain on them. Right, let's see if they make a mistake through turn 1 this time. So we can pick up the pieces on this final lap. Oh, they have, there's one. Can we get the inside of Laurent Aiello into the Druid's hairpin? Just about. There we go. Suddenly find ourselves in the lead on the last lap. There we go. A nice win to round out the evening in the Nissan.
You won the race. Very well done.
So, overall then, obviously the sim is dated. We can see that. We know it's not the latest technology in terms of tyre models or track models or anything like that. However, given what we've got with it and what Andreas has done with the Super Touring Pack, I'm super impressed. I'm always impressed with those modders out there who are able to create such incredible driving content and then release it to everyone for free, which is just completely amazing what they do, and hats off to them. And Andreas has done a great job with this mod. I mean, it really does look nice and drive nicely as well. I mean, a few little things I can do. I mean, I've literally just set this up this afternoon, but you know, we can mess around with the force feedback and make it a little bit more, I don't know, usable for me. It's quite heavy, so maybe a bit lighter and a bit less clunky on the old curbs and things might be a good thing to do. But at the same time, it still communicates through the wheel quite effectively what you're feeling on track. So apart from the curbs pulling you off the track. Yeah, but it's great. The fact that you've got the later years of touring cars, which we all know and love from the TOCA games, and some of the earlier ones as well, which are still really quality years of British touring car history, and be able to replay that. So if you're a follower of the British Touring Car Championship, this is really something you should be adding to your collection and downloading and having a go with, because it is fun just for a bit of nostalgia and a bit of a laugh. And we've had fun tonight. It's been some interesting moments and some typical touring car moments on track as well. But we really appreciate you guys for joining us this evening and being part of our look back and our throwback to the good old days of TOCA touring cars. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have, please once again slam the like button with vigour and fury if you wish. We really appreciate that, and it helps the channel out and the video as well. But again, thank you for joining us. We will be back on the channel very soon. I do know that we need to do something with the new AMS2 update, and we will do a video for that very soon indeed. And there's another video in the works which is coming out, which I hope you'll enjoy as well. But until then, we will see you all very, very soon indeed. Have a good rest of your evening, and it's back to work tomorrow. So excellent. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you all very soon indeed. Bye bye for now.